Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Mary Beth. Do you think you're about ready to get started?
Marty is going to run the show today, so I know
Okay.
that she will be here shortly.
Sounds good.
Erica, did you see Marty's comment that she can't unmute?
I did. I'm not sure why it's not letting her unmute. Having some slight technical difficulties, so thank you for your patience.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, yay!
Yay!
Awesome. I was like,
I love technical difficulties. They are just so awesome, aren't they? Good morning, everyone. How are you? Thanks, Erica, for being patient with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are we ready to start? Are we waiting on anyone? Wendy, unfortunately, will not be with us this morning.
Oh, it looks like we're still having a couple people join us. Maybe give this person another couple seconds to connect to audio.
Sure.
If you just joined us, welcome. Marty, is it all right with you if I share a couple of virtual public hearing guidelines before we get started?
Of course.
Thank you. Before we get started, everyone, I wanted to share a couple of things. If you could please enter your name in the chat so we can record your attendance, that would be great. Please mute your mic if you are not actively speaking. Turning on your video is optional. And if you could please wait until after the presentation of the PHA Annual Plan to ask a question, or I will be monitoring the chat box. So if you wanted to send a question there, I can ask it on your behalf. And then questions and comments will be addressed after the presentation of the plan. I'll turn it over to you, Marty.
Great. Thank you all for attending this morning. Just for those that have not attended a PHA Annual Plan public hearing, just a brief description of why we do this every year. So Kentucky Housing is required by federal regulations to submit a public housing agency annual plan for our rental assistance program to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Federal regulations require that Kentucky Housing Corporation, that we describe our programs, operations, and strategies for meeting our local housing needs. So what we do with our annual plan is we go over things that have changed since last year's public hearing. So if everyone is good, I will just jump right into those items. So tenant assistance programs portfolio has increased this year to 6,092 vouchers from a previous 5,835 from last year. So Kentucky Housing Corporation added 257 emergency housing vouchers in July of 2021, where we received the voucher referrals through Kentucky's Balance of State Continuum of Care. And those vouchers are to serve our homeless, or at risk of homelessness, and those that are fleeing domestic violence or human trafficking. Also, tenant assistance is currently holding a CMAP performance rating of the standard. And our focus is to increase utilization and, of course, to increase utilization for our special purpose vouchers, including the new EHV vouchers. Again, we were awarded 257 of those emergency housing vouchers. And we have offered 2,525 waiting list applicants vouchers. And this is to help increase our utilization as well for just our regular HCV folks. We are at 100% utilization of our Family Unification Program, also known as FUP. And we have implemented a new landlord engagement program to promote landlord participation for our regular HCV and for our special purpose vouchers. So those are the things that we have updated since our last PHA plan. Erica, do we want to open it up for questions?
Sure.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, you're free to unmute yourself if you would like to ask a question. Once again, you can type it in the chat box if you feel more comfortable. I will be monitoring the chat box.
I see Adrian on the call. Hello, Adrian. I think we just spoke to each other yesterday.
Good morning, Marty.
Good morning.
Long time no see.
I know. How are you?
I am well.
Good.
It's good to be with you all. I have a question. Is it now the time for questions?
Sure. My part of the presentation is over. We just wanted to go over those things that we updated in our annual plan for this year.
Perfect. Sorry, my phone has been ringing and my cat is whatever.
Not a problem.
I may have missed something.
The joys of being home, huh?
Yeah. Today is one of my at-home days. I had a question on the mainstream vouchers. How, and you may have said this because I know you talked about the 257 EHVs, but how many mainstream vouchers does KHC have? Is it around 200?
We actually have 300.
300. Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yes,
and then I was curious about the utilization rate on the mainstream portion. Do you all track that separately or within the whole HCV?
We do track it separately. We report that to HUD separately as well. I don't have specific leased numbers this morning, but I can get you that information. We are well into the hundreds, possibly into the 200s. So I can definitely give you that information. My apologies for not having it available.
No, that's okay. I've got one staff member who has gone to town on doing mainstream referrals. So I was just curious.
And we really appreciate that. Keep those referrals coming.
Sure.
Also for EHV, keep those referrals. I know that we're working with Curtis's group for those EHV vouchers. I do have numbers for EHV. We do currently have 19 leased, but we have several referrals in the works, in process. So yeah, those numbers are steadily coming up.
The other question I had was on the family unification,
Mhm.
the FUP vouchers.
Sure.
How is that going? Are you
It's going.
getting referrals from the cabinet? I'm just curious.
We are. We are at 100% utilization with our FUP vouchers. We have 74.
Great.
So we as those referrals continue to come in, we put them on a waiting list, and then as we attrition off, we just pull from that waiting list to keep those vouchers full. Yeah, and then we also do serve for our FUP program. We do serve families that are reuniting with their children, and finding an adequate home is the only barrier to receiving their children back. And then we do those that are aging out of foster care, 24 and under.
Are most of the referrals coming, how would you categorize the ratio between youth aging out of foster care and families who are involved with DCBS, protection, permanency, and for whom the barrier to reunification is substandard or inadequate housing?
That's a really good question. And the percentages range between, it's about 85 to 15%. 85 for families, 15% for youth. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
It is. We have conversations with our points of contact through DCBS, and we let them know, keep those referrals coming. We definitely want to see those youth take advantage of those vouchers. I think there are other programs that DCBS uses for those youth. There's an FYI voucher that is available in some PHA's areas. So I think that those are being taken advantage of as well. But we do promote that they send in those youth vouchers or referrals.
Yeah. And I'm not it's just a matter of curiosity and the types of referrals that the cabinet is prioritizing. I always want to be really careful never to pit one subpopulation against another, in terms of who's more deserving or whatever, because
they're all deserving.
Yeah.
Yes. We feel that way too, Adrienne.
Yes. Okay, that's all the questions I had at this point.
Thank you so much. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Hi, Joan. You're on mute if you're speaking. Still on mute.
Now I just wanted to apologize. I was late coming on. I had another Zoom that extended that I couldn't leave. But anyway, we're always looking for ways to finance, and the vouchers help us do that.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Marty, I am not seeing any in the chat box, just to let you know.
Okay. Okay, great. Anyone else? Questions, comments? We'd really appreciate your time this morning to attend the annual plan. We know everyone's schedules are crazy busy, so we do appreciate your time. So if we don't have any other questions or comments, I think we are good to let everyone get back to their day. Erica, are you?
Yeah, so before we adjourn, if you want to join us for our next virtual hearing, that is at 11 a.m., and that is going to be for the 2022 Annual Action Plan. And I welcome you to that. Feel free to join us. And before we adjourn, I do want to say a couple things. Thank you, Marty, for the presentation of the plan. Thank you, Jeremy, for the use of the Zoom room, and also Molly. Molly and Jeremy work behind the scenes so that we can use the Zoom room and we can stream it live on our YouTube channel. So if you know of anybody who missed the hearing and would like to watch this, you can find it on our YouTube channel.
Erica,
Sorry.
how does one, for the 11 o'clock, is that a Zoom and do you have that meeting number?
Yes, I can post that in the chat box if that is helpful to you.
Please.
All right, so hopefully everybody sees that information.
It is there, Erica. Good deal.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm
Thank you.
my name is Hugh Carroll. I'm out of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm the CEO of Apk Development. Did you say that what I did miss, I'd be able to find on the YouTube channel?
Yes, we record our hearings and other meetings on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to, if you just go to YouTube, you can search for Kentucky Housing Corporation and be able to watch. Marty gave us summary and presentation of the plan, so you can get more details from the recording.
Great. Thank you so much, and I apologize for my tardiness.
You're welcome.
Just for the record, I represent both the Lexington Community Land Trust as well as the Lexington Housing Authority.
It's nice to meet you.
President.
It's nice to meet you, Joan. We deal with Lexington Housing. We deal with Aldine on our Housing Choice Voucher side. Yeah,
Yes,
we love her.
Oh, I do too. Yes, we just went through the vouchers that we got for the rent. We just finished up that $100,000 that we got, and it was just so wonderful for those that received those monies to know that they were still in place and didn't have to move. And of course, we couldn't evict, but not to have that hanging over their heads.
Sure.
So it's just such a good feeling. Yes, I work closely with Aldine. I chair the board.
Oh, awesome. Great. Anything in the chat, Erica?
There are no questions, but Molly did post a link to our YouTube channel. So if you wanted to go back and watch this hearing for the PHA Annual Plan, the link is there. And then the link is also there if you want to watch the streaming of the 22 Annual Action Plan hearing. So thank you, Molly. Since there are no questions, that was a fairly short and sweet to the point. And Marty, if you want to make any parting comments or any words of goodbyes, go ahead.
Yeah, we just, again, as I said before, we really appreciate your time. If you have any questions or comments, or if you need to reach anyone on the Housing Choice Voucher side, you're more than welcome to email me. I can put my email in the chat for any comments. There you go. That's my email. So I apologize, I did not introduce myself when I started. So I'm Marty Maness-Chilcote. I'm the HCV Housing Policy Analyst for Kentucky Housing Corporation's Housing Choice Voucher Program. So I don't mind at all if you reach out to me if you have any specific questions. Just give me a call, give me an email, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Record.